Hey, what's up, guys? Jazz Borganzo here. What's next? It's Friday. I decided to do something lighter, shall I say? This has been something that has been circulating in the comic book realm for the better part of a few days now. J.Scott Campbell, who is a legendary illustrator in comics for many years. He has a unique style, is distinctive. In my opinion, it's damn good. But there are those who don't think so. There are those who've gotten, shall I say, triggered because of this. Let's take a look. This comes out of Bounding into Comics. I'm just going to scroll down real quick. This is J.Scott Campbell's cover of Spiderman 601 with, of course, Mary Jane. You can see Spider-Man in the background. You can see, of course, Peter and Mary Jane in a portrait in the background, and she is just there drinking her coffee. You can see the Daily Bugle on the table. But you got someone who happened to have issue with it, and they decided to do something about it. But let's jump into the story. This comes out of Bounding in the Comics, as I said. J.Scott Campbell's response to fixing of his Amazing Spider-Man 601 cover sparks hypocritical outrage among critics. After issuing his own take on attempt to, quote, fix his drawing of Mary Jane Watson, I'll show you as I scroll down, as featured on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 601, J.Scott Campbell has become the target of hypocritical outrage mob, i.e. Twatter MOB, i.e. woke. As the same critics who praised the unsolicited editing of his work have accused, and let's just be fair, the minuscule Twatter MOB who has issue with this is this. In reality, it's this. To the vast amount of those in the comic who are into comics, such as myself, who have zero issue with this is the Twatter MOB. And of course, those on the left listen to this instead of looking at this. As the same critics who praised the unsolicited editing of his work have accused the artist of harassment and bigotry for doing the same thing. So the aforementioned fixed it. He responded to the, quote, fix, and now they're accusing him of being because of J.Scott Campbell's fix. Of course, as I shown you earlier, that is the cover. Great cover art. Roughly 7 months ago, according to a reblog of the post from the @FixingBadComicArt account, which has since been renamed @BadComicArt, Tumblr user non-binary Fins Mertens, just rolls off the tongue. Now Bunby, because that's any better, submitted a, quote, fix of the aforementioned cover to @FixingBadComicArt, a blog dedicated to highlighting, quote, fixed versions of bad or allegedly problematic triggered comic book art by other Tumblr artists. I made an attempt at fixing this because it was so bad. LOL, wrote Bumby. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. So that's all that matters. LOL. Just don't look too closely at it. It's fine. Now, as you can see, to the left, that's J.Scott Campbell. To the right, that's Bumby. Of course, the pose, the leg poses. Her arms, Popeye-esque, just saying. Her shirt not so much showing, because of course that's offensive, that's problematic. To the normal eye, if you saw this to the right and you didn't see this to the left, you would say, okay, that's not bad. But if you know anything about J.Scott Campbell's art, to the left, that's what makes it very good. The, quote, various fixes made by Bunby to Campbell's art include the repositioning of Mary Jane's arms in order to take away the emphasis away from her bust, covering up her cleavage with a shirt featuring a less revealing neckline, and lowering her left leg from its angled posture. Fast forward to May 2021, and Bunny's, whatever its name is, because we don't want to, assume that it's a female or male, can't do that. Rendition of the cover began to spread like wildfire across, well, I won't say social media, I would say more like comic media, because traditional media doesn't look at comic book art. With critics of Campbell's art praising the edit, because of course they did, presenting what they believe to be a more realistic rendition of Spider-Man's iconic love interest. Eventually, the post caught the attention of Campbell himself, who responded to Bunny's criticisms of May 4th. On May 4th, with his post of his own, announced that, quote, the fix is in. Nice. Initially posting his work to Instagram, Campbell explained the post's caption, which he later screenshotted and shared to his Twitter page. Quote, you see someone's going by the name of non-binary blah blah, took to fixing the artwork, as they put it, and well, that got a lot of people talking. Now, typically, just ignore this sort of thing, but it seemed to go a bit viral with even friends and colleagues reposting it and explaining that this sort of correcting, quote unquote, is other established artists is just, well, tacky, which it is, wrote Campbell. In light of this, though, I decided to embrace the situation and do a little bit of art fixing myself. What do you think? Seems trendy. I'm up for new things, so let's have some fun and fix stuff. Now, of course, J. Campbell did that with tongue firmly planted in cheek. As you can see here, of course, that's J.Scott Campbell. And he decided to fix the fix. As you can see, he goes into detail regarding her arms, calling them Popeye-esque, fixed where her neck is, fixed her other arm, correction of the knee positioning, and of course he even did it. Of course he did it. Of course, his pencil is what they do, and of course he posted both color version and script version. So that's pretty good. Shortly after publishing this post to his various social media accounts, Campbell found himself facing a wave of ironic and outright hypocritical backlash as critics who supported Bunby's critique and editing of his work began to claim that such behavior was unacceptable when coming from Campbell himself. So the artist who did the original, who decided to fix what really didn't need to be fixing, is now being accused of fixing what was originally his. The original critique of NBA of the male gaze present in your first illustration, further putting forth the baffling and obtuse argument that, quote, what's being discussed are political implications of your stylistic choices. Quote, this isn't a dunk, it's missing the point. This is so sad coming from you, bro. It's just a small Tumblr account. That and your official art is not above criticism in a professional setting. Another key word, professional setting, which this teen is not. And let me jump to the artist. This is J.Scott Campbell. This is J.Scott Campbell making fun of his own cover in another cover or in one of his pages. 2009, of course, Mary Jane says, "Ha, you don't actually think I sit that way, do you?" Very funny to laugh at his own work, which a lot of comic artists do. And of course, this is J.Scott Campbell with Mary Jane with a Spider-Man suit of her own on the cover of Fantastic Four. The fact of the matter is that when you have someone who is a legend in the comic book industry as J.Scott Campbell, who has drawn, has envisioned drawing Spider-Man, of course, and Mary Jane this way for years. It is, like I said in the beginning of this, it's distinctive, it's unique. It's, like I said, it's really damn good. But sadly, in this world of social media that we live in, not just 2021, that you have knuckleheads and morons and soy boys and soy girls and latte drinking, shall I say, douches who have a problem with this kind of comic book art. To me, that's problematic. That's problematic. That you have nothing better to do in your life but to go after someone whose comic book art style is revered by hundreds of thousands, or shall I say millions, of comic book readers over the years who have read Spider-Man and who like J.Scott Campbell's work. But then again, that's just me. I'm Jazz Roganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.